Hey guys, it's Chris from Out West with Chris, and today I want to chat with you guys about this, my PFD. This is the Kokatat Leviathan. I've had this one for over a year, probably about a year and a half now, and I think it's time to do a review. But instead of doing it out here where it's windy and the audio is going to suck, we're going to do it inside. Alright, here we are guys. We are back inside, and this is the PFD up close. Once again, this is the Kokatat Leviathan, and this is an XL, double XL. I'm not a small guy. The nice thing about the Leviathan line is that they are size specific. So if you're a smaller frame person and you're not a fat guy like me, you know, the large, medium large, whatever, or if you're a smaller person, you know, you can get size specific, which is nice. I've been using this PFD for about 18 months now, and when I say use, I mean it's going out frequently, and I'm putting some hours in with this thing on. And there's quite a few things I like about it. There's a few things that I don't really like about it. So let's just talk about some of the just visible features really quick. The outer shell, as you can see, this stuff right here, this outer fabric is a ripstop nylon. It's a nice fabric, seems to wear very well. I got some staining, you know, some dirt, some buildup. I should probably wash this thing at some point. While we're on the topic of fabrics, this is a kind of a cool feature. It's a mesh areoprene on the shoulders, also on the lower back area and around the waist. This stuff is ultra breathable and pretty sturdy too. I really like this. So on those hot days when I'm out fishing the California Delta and it's 100 degrees, 105 degrees, you know, you're gonna sweat. And having some breathability is really nice. And this PFD offers maximum breathability, in my opinion, in some key areas. You know, the lower back area, up around your neck and your shoulders, and then around the sides. So on the inside, where the back panel is, this is also a breathable mesh. Now, you're going to get sweat up in this area. It's going to happen. But, you know, you do get a little bit of airflow in here as well. So that does help. All of this stuff is a quick dry material. And so when you fall in or you're fishing in the rain or the snow or something like that, you know, it does dry out fairly quickly. It's not super fast, but fairly quickly. My experience with the zippers has been positive. You've got a nice toothy zipper right here, a YKK zipper, a big zipper. I have not had any issues with this big zipper right here. The smaller zippers, no issues either. They seem to be pretty high quality. As we open it up, one of the main things is that this is contoured foam. It's a nice feature. It fits like a glove. This PFD in general, and I don't really care what body size you have, this thing's gonna fit you, it's gonna fit you well. All right, so let's take a look at the working space of the PFD. You're gonna see it has a ton of freaking pockets. It's also got a lot of attachment points. This attachment point right here, I've got a T-Rain retractor on it right now, but that pops off pretty easily. You could put an NRS knife. NRS has a river knife or a rescue knife or dive knife, whatever they call it. And it actually will pop on right here extremely well. There's a couple of the knives that will do that as well. These little holes right here for like zingers, which that's what that used to be. I need to take that dang thing off. That was an Orvis zinger, so a retractor. And it broke on me. It broke really quick. That was an expensive retractor too. But these are little spots where you can put retractors on for gear. I'm using this T-Rain one. It works okay. Tons of pockets, like I said. You got a pocket up here. You got a pocket here. You got a pocket here. You got a pocket here, a pocket here, here. And those are your zippered pockets. Oh, and then one more zippered pocket here that goes into this big chest panel right there. If I'm carrying an extra phone, I typically put that extra phone there. Then you've got a couple little mesh pockets here and here, here and here. One of the more underrated features of this is you've got hand warmer pockets. Let's see if we can take a look in here, but inside of there, whew, that is a fleece lined hand warmer pocket, and that's freaking cool. I don't always fish on nice days. Some days it's snowing outside when I'm fishing. Some days it is windy, and I gotta say it's nice to have those fleece lined pockets to go ahead and put your hands in, warm them up a little bit. Inside of the pockets there are little I don't know, D-rings right there. And I've got this one set up with a boomerang retractor and my line cutting tool, my line tool from Gerber. In this general area, you know, you got some Velcro here and here, so you can put some cool patches on. It does come with some little little hook keeper deals, like foam pads, fly fishermen, you know, you probably know what those are all about. Where you could stick the hook in and pull something out really quick. I am not gonna be putting that on. For me, it doesn't make sense. I don't like having hooks in my working space where my hands and my arms and, you know, just my flesh in general are gonna be hanging out. You do have these mesh pockets down here, and I never use them. Anything that's small enough to put in there that I would put in here, I would be worried that it would fall out personally. There's a little like elastic there, but it's not really that much. I could see somebody, like if they fly fish, putting like floatant there. You know, I don't know. The nice thing about it though is that there are a lot of options. There's a lot of options. I kind of feel like though there are too many pockets. That's just my take on it. But hey, that's just me. Kind of going around to the back of the PFD. It is a high back PFD, so you know, if you are fishing from a kayak that has a high back chair, it's not gonna be an interference. It's not gonna be an issue. You'll see a couple of attachment points here and here. A lot of guys will put a strobe light there. Guys that fish out in the ocean, you know, a lot of dudes will put a strobe light on one of their shoulders. Kind of the real main reason for those though is to attach Kokatat's hydration system. They have a hydration system that kind of just plugs in right there. I don't really know how it works. So I'm not gonna really talk about it too much, but evidently you could put that right on there. I should check that out, you know. I don't know. You also have a D-ring right here, and this is reminiscent of fly fishing vests where you would hang your net from. You know, you've got a little magnetic keeper deal, so you just pop your net right off when you're out wading. And I'm just gonna say, like, in general, I think Kokatat took a lot of inspiration from fly fishing vests in their creation of this PFD. There's a lot of stuff that reminds me of fly fishing vests. You could totally go out and go wade fishing with this setup, with a net hanging off your back, with your flies hooked on there, with your float and you know, just all of your stuff, you know, your forceps and you know, just everything hooked onto it, and it would be just like a fly fishing vest. It would be the exact same thing, except for you got flotation now. So I guess that kind of rounds out the features. I think we covered most of everything that's somewhat important. Now I want to talk to you about how it stood up over the last year and a half. There are a few issues, nothing major though. So right here you'll notice there's a little tear in the fabric and a little bit of a hole, and it's starting to fray out. Who knows what happened there? I could have hooked myself on a treble and had to pull it out or something. I don't recall that happening, but you know, this is kind of giving away. The ripstop is starting to fray out right there. So that's something, you know, that can happen. On the inside of the pockets, there's quite a bit of fraying from some of the thread from sewing and just other stuff. I don't know if those are the ends of some of the fabric on the inside, but this is kind of going on. And you know, a year and a half into it, I would expect stuff like this actually. It's fairly widespread. You can see in this pocket right here, there's a little bit of it going on too. Not a big deal. That's stuff that I can and will be trimming off. There's some minor fraying of some of the stitching. Once again, this is being really nitpicky, guys, but I want to point this stuff out. You know, if this thing just starts falling apart, It's kind of a bummer, but really it's held up pretty well. Kind of looking at the bottom, there's some definite wear in the ripstop as we kind of come down into this general area right here. This is kind of wearing off and, you know, fraying out. Not too big of a deal though. Now, one thing I do want to point out, that we've kind of nitpicked that little issue with some of the stuff fraying. Those aren't really like life and safety areas. The stuff that you don't want to fray or have an issue would be like up here on your shoulder connections, here where it connects to the shoulder strap itself. Over here on the side panel, you know, if that stuff was starting to fray and it looked like you could get a tear in the PFD where you were, you know, essentially securing yourself, you'd want to either try to fix it or you'd want to go buy a new one. And that's just not the case with this PFD. I feel safe in it. And yes, I have swam in it. I hit this.
Yeah.
And then,
oh man.
Was there anything left in my crate?
I don't think so. I'll run over there.
Okay. Alright guys, so that's kind of an overview on the features, the materials, that type of stuff. One thing about this PFD is it's really adjustable to fit. So you can adjust here. You got 2 straps on each side that you could adjust. And it stays in place. My last PFD, man, it was always riding up and it was almost like it was freaking choking me all the damn time. It would be like up here underneath my chin. And this one, it just stays in place. The shoulder pads, they don't bother me. I put this thing on and I basically forget I'm wearing it. And that's something I hear a lot from people, specifically one of my buddies. He uses an inflatable, right? Like the Mustang style inflatables. And he's like, I just don't think foam PFDs are comfortable. I can kind of get that. I kind of see where he's coming from. But for me, I put this thing on and it disappears. It just becomes part of me. And I get, you know, stuff is right here when I need it. Foam goes right here. I got my forceps. I got line cutters. I've got just all sorts of stuff at my disposal. I don't need to dig around anywhere to get that stuff. It's all on me. But I think the key thing for me is you put it on, you get great range of motion for paddling, for casting, fighting fish. You just put it on and you forget about it. And that's something I really, really like about this PFD. That and it keeps you float. Like I mentioned before, I've gone in, I've turtled my kayak and I had this on and I floated. It was no issue whatsoever. And I'm not a small dude, so this thing kept me afloat, kept me from sinking or bobbing like a bobber. You know, everything worked. I tested it on accident, but it all worked. So one thing we do need to talk about is we need to talk about price. This thing is one of the more expensive kayak fishing PFDs, kayak fishing specific PFDs on the market. You're gonna pay about $159 for this PFD. It comes in 3 different colors for those of you that stuff matters. I kind of like this color. There's one thing that I kind of don't like about this, and it has to do with the pockets. And like I said before, there's probably too many pockets, although, you know, that's debatable. I'm sure somebody out there is like, no, it needs 4 more pockets. You know, I need to put, you know, this in another pocket, this in another pocket, whatever, right? Somebody out there is thinking there's not enough pockets. But the thing that kind of bothers me about these pockets is how they zip and then zip back. It's not perfect. There are times I'll unzip a pouch and then I'll go to zip it back up and I don't do that whole downward motion and I've got it open just a little bit. Like it's closed here, but right here it's open. And that's just, in my opinion, opportunity for something to fall out. It's more of an issue, it seems like, for some reason on these 2 smaller front pockets. The whole zipping it closed action, sometimes if you're just kind of like closing it and you're not purposely closing it all the way, you get left with a little bit of an opening for things to sneak away on you. And that's about it. That's my like really only negative about this PFD. Like, I really like it. I highly recommend it to you guys. If you're interested in learning more or you're thinking about buying one, you know, go try them out at a kayak shop, put one on, get fitted, that type of thing. If you don't have a kayak shop near you or you're in a hurry, I will have an Amazon link in the description down below. Now, if you purchase using the Amazon link, the channel gets helped out a little bit. It's like a tiny little cut. You don't pay anything additional. I do have an affiliate link down in the description below. So, you know, if you want to help the channel out, that'd be great. You can go there, get more specs on it, read other people's reviews, get other people's thoughts on it. But like I mentioned before, if you have a kayak shop around you, definitely go put one of these on. Walk around the shop, grab a paddle and pretend like you're paddling. Or better yet, take this puppy on a demo. See if the shop will let you get it out on the water. That type of thing. So I highly recommend it. I've been using this PFD for 1.5 years and I don't really have any plans on switching in the near future. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, go ahead and drop them in the comment section down below. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're new to the channel, if this is your first video, check out some of my other videos. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. If you want to know when I post videos, hit the bell icon. If you liked the video, found it helpful, hit the thumbs up button. And other than that, see you guys on the water, and thanks for getting out west with Chris.